The Indian economy grew by 6.5% in real terms in the recently concluded financial year 24-25, according to the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation's official data that was released on Friday. According to NSO's second advanced estimates, the country's economy was projected to grow at 6.5% in 24-25. The Reserve Bank of India had projected 6.5% GDP growth for the fiscal year 24-25. According to official data, the economy grew 8.7% and 7.2% respectively in 21-22 and 22-23. The Ministry of Finance, in a report in March 25, anticipated that Indian economy would achieve a growth rate of 6.5% in 24-25 and the 6.5% in 24-25 despite considerable external headwinds. And to talk more about that, I'm joined by my colleague Patrick Lynn, who joins us live from the newsroom. Namaskar, Mark.
Namaskar.
Mark, what do you attribute the economy growing at 6.5, and how has been the growth throughout the year if we look at the growth figures in all the quarters of the year?
Yes, Amritpal, the growth at 6.5 is because of a strong growth in the fourth quarter, which is 7.4% from the January to March quarter of this year. And the previous quarters were not that high, 5.6% in the first quarter, April to June, 5.6 again from the July to September quarter, and the October to December quarter saw 6.2%. So it's actually from October onwards that the economy has been accelerating, picking up a little bit, and has now clocked 7.4% in this quarter from March up to March, January to March. It has been a result of a strong domestic demand, because what we see is that the private final consumption expenditure, which is really the expenditure of the consumption, which is the demand that's pulling in the economy, has grown to about 7.3%. It was about 4% in the previous year. So this is what has drawn in a lot of the consumption is increasing, and as a result of that, growth has taken place. Also, agricultural growth has taken place at the rate of about 3.8%, and the construction sector has grown at about 8.6%, which means that there has been demand for the infrastructure, components, things like cement, steel, which are basically the core sectors of the economy. Amritpal.
Mark, also if we look at the external factors, the world is not doing so well when it comes to growth or even demand because of, supply chain disruptions, the ongoing wars. What led to the Indian economy not performing so bad?
So India is always seen as, an outlier as far as its integration with the global economy is concerned. Naturally, India does depend on the global supply chains, but India on its own produces enough for its own markets. The domestic demand is very strong. Internal manufacturing has also increased as a result of the domestic demand. There's enough demand within India itself to sustain a certain amount of growth every year, which is the reason why India will continue to grow despite the global economy facing headwinds of various kinds. Also, India will start supplying goods which, for instance, in the high technology space, we talk about smartphones. India will start supplying a lot more of these to the global market. And this would also help India to be, the China Plus One model. India getting in some of the requirements for the global supply chain because of certain difficulties in other countries of the world. But India, of course, there are a lot of opportunities that India presents because India continues to get in a lot of investments, because India continues to be a market which is large, as I said, the domestic market, but India also is a manufacturing base at a reasonably low cost. The labor costs are going to be less here in India, and over a period of time, not only in the services sector, because the services is the largest component of growth in our country, not only services, but manufacturing too has begun to increase substantially.
All right. We leave it there. Mark, many thanks for joining us and giving us that perspective.